Good morning, YouTube. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day out there. Welcome to another episode of Life of Brian. Just went to Alara Garage and picked up my Lamborghini Gallardo. And I don't believe I have shot any content on the Gallardo for the channel, so I thought now's as good as time as any. So I kind of have, I've had this car for about 5 years. It is the first and only Lamborghini that I've owned, and quite frankly, other than perhaps getting a manual Gallardo, I really have no desire, inclination to get any other Lamborghini. I think the Aventadors, the Huracans, and the like are, very interesting cars. From a performance standpoint, obviously you can't question, the horsepower and the 0 to 60 and the lap times and everything like that. It's just, honestly, I have no interest in them because I don't like, from an aesthetic standpoint, I don't like the way that they kind of look like, Starship Trooper, spaceship, kind of weird, not weird, but kind of a slightly kind of alien, I can't really think of the movie. I think it's Starship Troopers, but maybe it's Day After Tomorrow. Kind of the, I don't know if you guys are kind of feeling me on this, but kind of the alien bug spaceship hybrid look. Again, from a performance standpoint and sound, obviously they check all the boxes. But again, I'm just aesthetically, I'm not really into them. So the Gallardo is really kind of the only Lamborghini that I could ever see myself owning. The Countach, obviously the Mira is a beautiful car, but I'm never going to find or get one of those. The Countach, I know a lot of people, Doug DeMuro has one. I just, again, from a look standpoint, that kind of goes the other direction. I think it's a little bit too dated, a little too, gaudy for me, if you will. But I think the Gallardo is kind of just a nice mix in the middle, where you kind of have that futuristic look. It's not horribly dated yet. Kind of nice sharp angles, clean, but not just so futuristically, buggy, spaceshipy. Yeah. So anywho, again, I had this Gallardo for about 5 years now. Have not really had any big issues, knock on wood. Again, I've done maintenance and I've done all the scheduled maintenance. I have the what do you call it? I don't have the 6-speed. Can't talk it. I don't have the 6-speed gated manual, unfortunately. I have the automatic, the single clutch, whatever it is that I know it's the F1 and the Ferrari of this age, but I forgot what it's called, and the Lamborghini. But anywho, it's clunky for sure. You're definitely gonna be jerking back and forth in stop and go traffic. It's clunky, it's slow, it's not very responsive. So again, I definitely, if I could have found one at the time, I definitely would have gone with the 6-speed. But transmission issues aside, and haven't had a transmission issue. I had the clutch replaced, so I think that's going to give me a few more years of good use without having any maintenance worries. But other than that, obviously the transmission replacement was kind of a big deal from a price standpoint, but it had to be done. I got the car with I think 17,000 miles, almost 18. I have almost 21,000 now. And again, I've had the car for 5 years. As you guys can tell, I don't drive it much, and there's reasons for that. Yeah, obviously changed the oil, that sort of deal. But yeah, I haven't really had any issues come up with the Lamborghini, which was my concern, especially after my experience with my 360 modded, which I'll get into at a later video. But from a maintenance standpoint, from reliability standpoint, I haven't really had many issues with it, knock on wood. Really, to me, guys, it's more of the driving experience. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this car, sometimes more on the hate side. Again, I love the way the car looks. I love the sound that the engine makes, obviously naturally aspirated, 500 horsepower. You know, it's the legendary Lamborghini V10. So again, no complaints in that regard. But I kind of mentioned it in a previous video that I did about my Audi R8, which is it's based on the platform is the same as the Gallardo, but the R8 drives completely differently. It's much more nimble. It's much more easier and fun to handle. Turning, cornering, just everything. It just feels different. It just feels like a completely different car. The Gallardo, my Gallardo, as I think most Gallardos of this age, it feels like driving a tank. It really beats the heck out of you. The ride is very rough, very, 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 very stiff. You feel all the undulations and the potholes and everything in the road you hit, you're gonna feel. So that's another reason why I don't drive it much. It's kind of a chore to make it through a drive without, you know, your back hurting or something else hurting or aching. You know, again, the turning radius on this car sucks. Pulling into out of tight spots. Again, U-turning, trying to make a U-turn, good luck. What else? So those are kind of the main cons that I have. I mean, yes, obviously, mine's a 2007, I believe, 2007 or 2008. And, you know, obviously it's kind of dated from an interior standpoint. You know, the leathers and everything still smell good. The interior is in great shape because, again, I don't drive this much. But, you know, there is no infotainment. There's no backup camera. Everything looks like of the age of the early 2000s. So, you know, that stuff doesn't really bother me much. But it's, yeah, the only thing I can compare it to, it's like driving a tank. I've never driven a tank. But it's certainly, this car is certainly not nimble or agile like the NSX, like my Lotus. But you know, to be fair, it's not. It's, you know, obviously the Gallardo is not meant to compete with those. Certainly, it's not. You know, my RX-7 or, you know, this was a supercar of its age, of its era for sure. Is it a sports car? No. Is it something that you're just gonna kind of enjoy on a nice long curvy road or go up to the hills? Or no, it's not that fun to drive, guys. I'll be completely honest with you. I mean, if you're on a freeway, like a long freeway, and you're just kind of want to put your foot down and blast off and make some great sounds, yeah, it's great for that. But for cruising around town, for running errands, for, again, just going down a nice curvy road and kind of going into and out of corners, this is not a fun car to do that in, because, again, the suspension is horrible. I mean, it's not broken or anything. It's just exactly what it's supposed to feel like. It's a very, very, very rough and stiff ride. It'll beat up your back, and but it's like driving a tank. And are there things that people like about driving a tank, or perks or advantages? Sure. You know, obviously the Gallardo still gets looks. It's still a very striking car. I don't know if I would call it beautiful, but it definitely is. I mean, I rarely drive mine, but whenever I see a Gallardo parked on the road or drive by, I do a double take, because I think they're very striking. I wouldn't call them beautiful, but they're very striking cars. You can't ignore them. And again, I have mine like in a dark gray, so it's not as obnoxious as, you know, a green Lambo or a yellow Lambo, or certainly like a red Lambo. So and I did that on purpose. I kind of like my McLaren. My McLaren's the same thing. Got that in white, which is the most understated color you can get. But I kind of feel almost a little bit kind of self-conscious when I'm driving certain cars, to my supercars, whatever, because I don't really like attention. You know, people coming back and honking or trying to race me or trying to get me to roll down my window and ask me a question. So I try to actually it's not a mistake that almost literally all my supercars are kind of in very understated colors, silver, white, nothing loud. I mean, obviously my Ferrari, my 360 Monita isn't red, but you have to have a red Ferrari, right? But yeah, so I definitely have a love-hate relationship with this car. I would drive it more. It's just, again, the driving experience is just not that great. I'll do future videos with it. 5 things I, aggressively tolerate. 5 things I violently oppose. I think this car is definitely perfect for that, because I definitely have a love-hate relationship with this car. But I don't regret buying it. I don't really drive it that often, and quite honestly, when I think about cars that I need to sell, or I'm thinking of selling or trading in to get something else, this is definitely usually at the top. This and my old, my previous Porsche that I had, the Tiptronic, which I ultimately did trade in for my 6-speed manual. Now this is kind of definitely at the top now that the Porsche is gone. It's just, I like the car, but I wish if I could get a 6-speed manual, I definitely think I would get a lot more enjoyment out of it. But from the ride quality, the stiff suspension, just the overall driving experience, again, unless you're blasting off straight ahead, it's not that fun. It's not that great of an experience. But again, it's a Lamborghini, so first world problem. So just want to share with you guys some quick thoughts on my Gallardo. Again, I'll definitely have the car up for more content on the channel. Let me know if you guys want more as well. But I hope you guys liked the video. Give it a thumbs up, comment below, like and subscribe. Please support the channel. And I hope to catch you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.